The material universe originates from a state of absolute order, pure source energy. We can define this initial undivided whole mathematically with a single integer, unity, or simply 1. To create a universe, this unified state must undergo a strict mathematical division, a process we call the primordial fractalization. The divisor for this process is the golden ratio, phi, a mathematical proportion embedded throughout the structure of nature. When source energy, expressed as unity, is divided by phi, it yields a specific measurable volume energy value of roughly 0.618, or 1 over phi. This new 1 over phi energy possesses an inherent structural mandate. It immediately organizes itself. Pure energy requires strict geometric boundaries to transition from a single unified state into an active framework capable of constructing a universe. This 1 over phi volume energy distributes itself exclusively into one highly specific three-dimensional shape, a tetrahedron. We can ground this geometry in physics by defining its scale. The edge length equals exactly 2 Planck lengths, a dimension tied to the absolute minimum limit of measurable space. Because these edges measure exactly twice the Planck length, they define the precise frontier where general relativity and quantum physics converge. At this foundational limit, the tetrahedron functions as a primordial resonator for energy. Inside this structure, the energy partitions itself. A perfect sphere forms, growing entirely tangent to the inner walls. The total volume energy divides based on a specific recursive integer known as harmonic 432. The energy captured within this inscribed sphere corresponds exactly to harmonic 432 squared. This division leaves residual volume energy sitting in the 4 corner pockets of the tetrahedron, just outside the sphere. This remaining energy resonates perfectly at the baseline harmonic 432. This specific tetrahedral geometry acts as an engine. It converts uniform energy into a dual-frequency harmonic system primed for precise, ordered replication. With the initial geometry set, the model enters a dynamic phase. A recursive cascade begins, scaling the geometry up at progressively larger energy thresholds. The multiplier driving this expansion is the base harmonic itself, applied as an operator, times 432. As the volume expands, the physical boundaries of the tetrahedron scale up proportionally. Mathematically, the edge length shifts from 2 Planck lengths to exactly 2 Planck lengths multiplied by the golden ratio, phi. This specific derived length perfectly aligns with a physical macroscopic unit of measurement from human history. This photograph shows an ancient artifact. The new mathematical length of the scaled tetrahedron identically matches the dimension of this Royal Egyptian cubit. Returning to the internal mechanics, as the outer physical size scales up, the internal harmonic resonances escalate in tandem. The residual volume in the corner pockets amplifies from 432 to 432 squared. Simultaneously, the inscribed sphere undergoes the identical multiplier, reaching a volume energy of 432 cubed. Ancient measurement systems like the cubit serve as macroscopic echoes of the universe's primordial geometric scaling laws. When we isolate that newly scaled 432 cubed sphere, we find that this specific volume energy crosses a critical threshold in physics. At the 432 cubed harmonic level, the volume energy becomes so dense that it condenses to yield the properties of a mini black hole. This diagram maps the mechanism. Top right shows the general relativity formula determining a black hole's diameter from its mass energy. Applying this to our 432 cubed sphere reveals the resulting black hole's diameter precisely equals 1 over phi. Notice the exact symmetry of this result. It points directly back to the very first step of the framework. 1 over 5 was the exact volume energy created during the original primordial fractalization of unity. The cascade forms a perfect mathematical loop. The extreme astrophysical limits of black holes mathematically reflect the absolute origin point of the universe. The 432 cubed sphere represents an extreme state of gravity and density, but it is not the final stage of the cascade. To breach the threshold of tangible reality, the engine must undergo one final, identical cycle of recursive scaling. We apply the harmonic operator one last time, multiplying the 432 cube sphere by the base harmonic 432. The output is 432 to the fourth power. This specific harmonic value is the densest, most crystallized form of geometric energy in the framework. We can match this theoretical output directly to established measurements in standard quantum physics. The numerical value of 432 to the fourth power closely and predictably matches the mass-energy domain of the foundational building blocks of the material world. Returning to the mechanism diagram, the bottom right panel shows these building blocks specified, the fundamental subatomic constituents, the proton and the neutron. In this framework, a proton is pure geometric energy, folded and amplified to the exact harmonic frequency of 432 to the fourth power. Stepping back to view the entire sequence, we see every stage of physical reality is connected by an unbroken mathematical chain. It begins with absolute unity, divided by the golden ratio to create a 1/phi seed of energy. That energy self-organizes into a primordial tetrahedron mapped precisely by Planck lengths. A recursive multiplier of 432 scales the geometry outward, leaving structural footprints in human history and reaching the extreme thresholds of astrophysics. This complete diagram visualizes the final step, the crystallization of the 432 to the fourth power harmonic directly into the mass energy of a proton. The framework is strictly deterministic. Under these mathematical rules, matter is the inevitable consequence of geometry. By tracking this harmonic scale-up, the model provides a bridge connecting the macroscopic gravity of general relativity directly to the quantum properties of subatomic particles. The physical world you interact with every day operates exactly like an intricate, vibrating matrix of primordial geometry, scaled perfectly to the harmonics of 432.